Hi, I'm astrologer Penny Dix and welcome to another Astrobite. But not just any Astrobite. This is a real important Astrobite. This is about Saturn today, the 25th of May, moving into the 0 degree of Aries, the first sign of the Zodiac. It's at what is known as the world point. This is so major. I cannot tell you how powerful the energy that is going out in electromagnetic waves across the cosmos as this planet shifts signs. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we can expect with Saturn in Aries, and remembering also that it will dip back into Pisces for a little while at the end of the year. And then I'm going to do your 12 zodiac signs, with each of you knowing which part of your life is going to be impacted by Saturn's ingress into Aries. They're not time-stamped. If you want to time-stamp them, that's fine. I won't be offended. So listen, let's have a look at the energy of Saturn in Aries first, because this, as I said, is really, really big stuff. It marks a major astrological shift, and it sets a kind of tone for a new cycle of responsibility, self-mastery, structure. It's a time that is going to make us feel that we're really at the beginning of something new. We're initiating. Aries is a cardinal sign. So is Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn. It's a cardinal planet. It likes to take the initiative, but it takes its time. So moving into Aries is going to slow down certain energies that we wish to see moving more quickly. And there's going to be, of course, its conjunction with Neptune, which quite frankly, it's conjunct Neptune now, which will bring a little bit of mystery and lack of clarity into perhaps the direction the world is going, let alone where we're going. I think there is going to be a degree of inner confusion about, am I doing this or am I doing that? Where normally we're so clear, we know what we're going to do and what direction we're going to walk in. So Saturn, as I said, is going to stay in Aries till 2028, but it will dip back in to Pisces for a couple of months at the end of the year. But what does Saturn represent? Because it is about boundaries. It's also about karma. It's about beginnings and endings. It's structure. It's wisdom. It's Kronos, the god of time. It's maturity. So we learn a lot from a Saturn transit. So whichever part of your chart Saturn is now going to be transiting through is the part of your life that will really be enhanced by this energy, and you will learn much more about this area of your life and how to operate in it in a mature way, with wisdom, with clarity, with precision, with timing. You will put down good, solid, firm roots. It's the builder. Saturn is our mentor. Make friends with Saturn. We should never dread a Saturn transit. Just say, okay, I'm ready. What would you like me to learn this time? This is about the growth of the soul. This is so super energizing and exciting. But it will take time and it will slow things down because it's in Aries. And Aries, of course, being the first sign of the Zodiac, is a warrior. It's ruled by Mars. It's individuality. It's that spark of idea of being a pioneer, of like in Star Trek, boldly going where no person has gone before. This is what Aries wants to do. It initiates, it's courageous, it has a very distinct identity, and it wants to move fast. It's also instinctive, and it does lack patience and sometimes foresight. So, of course, Saturn being here is going to enhance that ability in our charts that is Aries dominated to just take a bit of time to think about the directions that we want to really truly go in. It's about finding how we take full responsibility for who we are, for how we respond to things, how we react, how we behave in the world in general. We might find issues come up for us around our personal freedom, our personal liberties, about leadership, self-discipline. There is something here about karma and the abuse of power. If we have been witnessing abuse of power of world leaders, we will see a karmic reset. I don't need to say any more than that, because we don't have to do anything. In spite of that Mercury conjunct Uranus and rebelliousness and rebellious talk and behavior, we don't have to do anything. Saturn in Aries is going to sort out the wheat from the chaff, the good leaders from the not so good leaders. I am not mentioning any leaders in particular. It does not matter what I may think. I'm telling you what the astrology says, that karma will take its course, or have it live its course out with those that have abused their positions of power. So it's a karmic reset. If there has been misuse of willpower and ego on a personal level too. So we have this kind of conflicting energy, because Saturn likes to follow through slowly, whereas Aries wants to get everything going now. But what it does mean is that new ideas and anything of an entrepreneurial idea or flavor will be built on very solid foundations. We will be sorely tested if we are too impulsive or make ego-based choices. This is where we have to be very mature and grown up about our ideas of how we progress forward. We need to show ourselves authentically. If we use aggressive behavior, that karma will get us. Authenticity is the way to handle Saturn in Aries. Because Saturn is going to, in a sense, pour a cooling wind, if you like, onto the fiery fires of Aries. What Saturn is looking for is measured responses, not reaction. There may be, or we may see, themes that are akin to violence through assertive behavior and confrontation. And Saturn really is trying to encourage us to take accountability for these behaviors. Because of that, Eris conjunct Chiron in Aries, we are going to see potential for rebellious behavior. Uranus in Taurus is always going to be bringing up the rebellious behavior and rebellion on the streets. that is just potentially there all the time. What we have to do is not get into victimizing each other or ourselves. No victimhood. And don't wait for permission. You have to take the initiative. This is a cardinal sign and a cardinal planet. Take the initiative. If something's not moving, if you're making plans and thinking, oh, they'll all sort themselves out, I'll just leave it to unfold, it won't. You have to take action. You have to help the cosmos. I will take this approach with my relocation. So if my selling of my apartment is not happening quickly enough this year, I will be taking action, changing the price, lowering the price, tweaking things, advertising in different areas. I will take the initiative. I will take action to make sure it gets out there so that I can use Saturn's timing to get to where I want to, but with the incentive and the energy of Aries. And, you know, going back to this karma, I think we're going to see leadership positions really called to account. They will only earn respect through integrity and authenticity. They try to dominate, it will backfire on them. And that's whether it's in the war zones or on smaller levels, local governments, anything like that. It will backfire. Now, what about if you've got personal planets or angles in, say, Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn? In this case, Saturn's ingress into Aries will be especially significant depending on the degree of, say, your Sun in Cancer. If it's at 1 or 2 degrees, you will be feeling that energy now. So just be aware of that. It will be pulling you up, making you aware. So there is something here with Aries about it really is time to grow up, especially with Saturn's presence. But it's not going to come without hard work. What we have to do is work hard. But let's just, in summary, have a look at what the themes are and how we interpret it before I go on to your individual signs. So there's the maturity of our identity. So we can look at that as, who are we without ego? Are our actions aligned with what we value? We need courage with discipline, because true courage comes with patience and accountability. Self-leadership. We have to take charge of your life, of our lives. Don't take control, because control, the vibration of the word control is not good. It's too controlling. There's no room for tweaks and changes and flexibility. Whereas if you take charge of your life with wisdom, and not just my will, I want my will to be done, then actually Saturn will be kind to you. And it is very much a karmic cleanup, this transit of Saturn. So anything that we have done that is irresponsible, just needs forgiving, that is unchecked, lazy, angry outbursts, we will have to take charge of those. And there is such a wonderful opportunity here for building new structures and new beginnings. We can build a long-term foundation for innovation and independence. It's a super, super lovely energy. So now I know you want to look at your individual signs. So they start at 15 minutes and 37 seconds. And we're going to start with Aries. And this is for Sun in Aries or for rising sign in Aries. So Aries, well, of course, it's your first house. So this is very much a time for you to mature. This is about you really looking at who you are and how you want to define yourself going forward, how you assert yourself, how you grow up, whatever age you are, you can be 70 and still not grown up. How you grow up. Saturn wants you to lead, but with integrity and not ego. Aries can have a tendency towards being ego-dominated. Just is. It's a fire sign. It's ruled by Mars. Of course, it's going to be ego-dominated. Saturn won't take kindly to ego dominance. You may feel it personally that you're being got at. I think you will find that you get your confidence really tested. So whereas you may have been someone who has quite a lot of seemingly confidence and good self-awareness, and that's going to be tested. There may be events that come up that push you to be authentic because you're not being authentic. Narcissistic personas will not fare well with this energy. We need to bid them farewell. If you do the work, this is what Saturn always says, over the next 28, 25, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 3 years. You think I could count? I can't. Terrible. There's no idea. If you do the work, because Saturn likes it when we work with it, when it presents us with the lessons and we work with it. Oh my goodness, Aries, you're going to be a much stronger, a much more authentic, a much wiser version of you. And you will find that all of your probably one-to-one relationships will change quite significantly, because people that don't fit in with the new, mature, authentic you, you'll suddenly realize, why was I with these people? It's interesting. Let's move on to Taurus. So Taurus, this is for Sun in Taurus or for rising sign in Taurus. Well, of course, Taurus, this is your 12th house, which is the inner you, the psychic you, the part of you that likes to go within and reflect. So it's a very good time for inner healing, inner self-discipline, learning more about yourself. It's a great time to go into therapy. It's a great time to develop spiritual practices. Whatever your spiritual leaning is, you will find great comfort through that. I think you will find over the next 3 years, the whole of your internal self and identity will will change, will be restructured. I think your feelings about self-worth, your fears of isolation, you'll confront them and you'll overcome it. You will build a strong psychological core. Because I think the way things have been as Taurus, as Saturn moved through Pisces, it's been quite difficult for you to find that inner self-worth and core. It's been quite hard. So use this time for inner healing. Doesn't mean you have to stay locked up. But, you know, go and, I don't know, do a retreat. Walk the Camino. Do something that really takes you within. It'll be good for you. So let's move on to Gemini. So Gemini, this is for Sun in Gemini or for rising sign in Gemini. So Gemini, this is your 11th house. And this is the community at large. It's bigger networks. It's your long-term vision. It's you being able to connect with the higher frequencies. The energy of communication that can come through in a much more mature form with Saturn here for you. This is where you start to look at your long-term goals. And do they actually match up with what you really want? It's a time to reassess what you want. You might find that certain friendships and relationships, like I said for Taurus and Aries, may drop away. That is quite a probability with this kind of energy. Because what Saturn is asking you to do is to build meaningful long-term connections with a wider community that have your best interests at heart, and also have like-minded in the fact that you have the same likes and dislikes. It's terribly important for you. And you might find yourself in a position of authority in leading groups. Group leadership can be a big part of Saturn moving through the 11th house. Let's move on to Cancer. Because Cancer, for you, Sun in Cancer and rising sign in Cancer, it's your 10th house, career, your passion, your status, your public persona. I think you're going to be stepping into new professional territory. However, Saturn will make you work hard for it. It's not just going to come easily. And you might find all those plans, all those ambitions you've got are really, Saturn will be screwing the thumbnails, putting the pressure on. You need to look at your long-term plans and think, are they realistic? Is this really the direction I want to go? Saturn will try and slow you down in making knee-jerk decisions about your long-term plans. The thing is, a positive side of this transit is if you work well with this energy, you can rise in your chosen field slowly and steadily and have a great sense of authority. There's no room for shortcuts, but you can really restructure your public image and your goals. Let's move on to Leo. Leo, for you, Sun in Leo and rising sign in Leo. This is in your 9th house of travel, of higher learning, of legal processes, of spiritual development, and those higher frequencies that we can tune into. Well, truth, You will be seeking the truth, Leo, and you will have such a thirst for learning. Because I think Saturn will be making you ask the question about your spirituality. What do you believe? And if you aren't living what you believe, why not? If you're not practicing what you preach, why not? You need to hone down your worldview. It could see you over the next 3 years, Leo, taking on more advanced studies in the subjects that you are absolutely passionate about. I can certainly see that with myself as a Leo ascendant, and the 9th house being for me where Saturn is transiting, because with the astrology, I have such a thirst to add to my knowledge, to do more training, to do more classes, to do more, to have tutorials with astrologers who are far more experienced than I am. I am thirsting for it. So you may also find yourself in a teaching role with this energy here. And the growth that can come from you, or come for you, or through you, is by being disciplined in this exploration. You might even find that you are doing some writing and publishing. Well, I've certainly got that on my agenda as on my to-do list for the next few years. And as I said, with Saturn here, there may be an irritating legal matter that takes time to sort itself out. That's another theme that can come up. And now we move on to Virgo. So this is for Sun in Virgo or for rising sign in Virgo. Virgo, it's your 8th house. 8th house. This is sexuality, transformation. This is secrets and lies. This is Hades and the underworld. Intimacy. How are you with intimacy, Virgo? Because I think you're being asked here to really mature around how you share energy, whom you trust, how you take care of your resources, especially your joint resources. I think you are going to be challenged about control. There can be fear of loss, fear of dependency coming to the surface. But through all of this, there is such an opportunity for personal inner development. What you have to do, Virgo, is, as I've said before to Virgo, stop getting caught in the small stuff. Know when something is complete and let it go and put it out there. You have to invest in what's real. That is Saturn's gift. Let go of that doesn't serve you, of that is not real. Let's move on to Libra. Sun in Libra, rising sign in Libra. Well, Libra, this is in your 7th house of significant relationships, commitment. You've got 3 years of Saturn here. Well, I have to say, when Saturn went through my 7th house, I did have some interesting situations develop in my relationship area of my life. My 7th house is Aquarius, and I got divorced. That doesn't mean everybody out there is going to get divorced, but I needed to get divorced. It happened. I was very happy about that. I made some seriously good friends and had some long-term friendships develop at that time. Interestingly, when Saturn left my 7th house, some of them just dropped away. It was like, now they're here, now they're gone. This is the nature of Saturn. It can take things away but my God, the gifts it can give you. If it clears the way in your 7th house, Libra, if it clears the way, it's for a very good reason. And that reason is because it's making way for the new to come in. Do I need to say more? Except watch your boundaries, watch your emotional maturity, and watch how you use your power. Don't get into power dynamics, would be my advice. So, where have we got? We've got on to Scorpio. Scorpio, for Sun in Scorpio and for rising sign in Scorpio. Let's have a look. So this is your 6th house. Health, it's your habits, it's service to others, it's your daily routine. Saturn here is going to slow down your daily routine and give you a chance to restructure it, reorganize it, and get it into some kind of more workable order for you as you go forward. Because Saturn likes structure. It wants better time management and routines. Here, with Saturn here, you will really be making a commitment to your physical health and your psychological health. You'll be really looking at how you can commit yourself to a health plan that suits you, whether it's what you eat, what you breathe, how you exercise. All of that is going to be very much a part of your life over the next 3 years. There's also the service to others, and there is very much an urgency that you will pick up. You will feel this need to do work for others, meaningful work, whether that's rescuing pets, cats, dogs, strays, doing something with a rescue centre, because it'll be very important to you. It'll help build your long-term stability because you want to feel that you give back to society as much as society gives to you. And you will have an enormous empathy for, say, our 4-legged friends who are in need. And Saturn is going to help you put structure into that and form and see a really positive and good way forward. Now let's move on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, this is for Sun in Sagittarius or for rising sign in Sagittarius. Well, 5th house, creativity, love affairs, self-expression, what's not to like? But it's Saturn. Well, this could be interesting. On one level, Sagittarius, it could slow things down in the romance department. But that means it may be working at putting a structure into something that is casual so that it can actually become something more permanent in the future. So don't worry, or actually maybe it'll be really good if things seem to get more serious, because Saturn will bring in an element of stability and security and seriousness. And sometimes Sagittarius, I think you find it, you want to play. You love playing. And this is the house of play, the 5th house. So, but you have to see the bigger picture. You have to create long-term vision and know that whatever is taking time creatively, whether it be with romance or creative projects that you work on, allow it to take time. Just allow it to take the time it needs to take. Because this is really going to help with your self-expression. It's a good placement. Let's move on to Capricorn. So this is for Sun in Capricorn or for rising sign in Capricorn. It's your 4th house. of home and family. It's your emotional roots. It's your ancestry, your DNA. Some of you may decide you want to really go into your ancestry and do an Ancestry.com DNA test to find out where your roots are. And I mean, it's really fascinating when one does these tests, because you find out we're all a soup. We're all such a mix of everything. There's hardly any what I'd call pure breeds anymore. No pure whatevers. There's just, we're bits of this and bits of that. We've got, So it is super interesting. And I think you'll find there'll be a deep restructuring on an inner level. And it's about your home life and your security. Some of you may be looking at moving home with Saturn here. And we've got a 3-year window for that. You may be making plans to change location, even country for some people. And Saturn, of course, wants you to take responsibility. So if you did want to move, don't just sit back and think, oh, Saturn's there, it's all going to happen. You've got to take responsibility and make some actions. Take some actions. Because you have to create the security and the structure of what you want by taking action. So physical moves are very possible and probable. Also, there'll be a redefining of family boundaries and also reparation with emotional difficulties that may have come up with family members. There can be a healing and a mending of wounds, which is really going to be incredibly helpful. Let's move on to Aquarius. So this is for Sun in Aquarius or rising sign in Aquarius. So this, of course, is your 3rd house of communication, mindset, learning, technology, our devices, internet. Well, I think we better watch out with Saturn in Aries here for you, Aquarius, because I think you are going to be much more assertive, direct, and structured about the way you communicate. You will not be someone who creates a word salad. There will not be plenty of pretty, floaty words around. It'll be, you need to train as a nurse. I can feel it, for example. That's the kind of directness. Or I need to train and learn more about how to speak a foreign language. There could be anything like that. The possibilities are endless. But with you, Aquarius, it's more likely you're going to want to learn more about technology. You're going to really want to get up to speed with AI. I was dealing with AI earlier with, using the mic option on the keyboard to dictate my emails and replies to comments rather than try and type them with my left hand. And I was arguing with AI. Well, it was arguing with me. I was saying, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying da-da-dee-da-dee-da. And, I was getting angry. And it's like it's trying to control me. AI is very Saturn. That's all I've got to say. Aquarius, don't allow your thinking to get rigid with Saturn in this part of your chart. Try and make sure that you have real clarity of thought, that you think things through slowly, timely, and make timely interventions with what you talk about, because you could come over quite abrupt with this energy and you might find that alienates people. However, you also may find that you do teaching, writing and studying of all descriptions with this energy in this part of your chart. And finally, we come on to Pisces. The Sun in Pisces and rising sign in Pisces. And this is your second house of money, self-worth, your value, how you accrue your money, how you make your money. Saturn here is putting down some ground rules. You know, Pisces, it's quite a good placement for you. You've had it in your own sign for 3 years, trying to help you put some structure and form into that which is formless. Here it is moving into your financial sector to say, okay, let's get some structure into your finances. Let's really put the plug in the drain where things are draining away. Financial discipline is what Saturn will want to teach you here. There is a danger towards this financial insecurity, and Saturn is going to be teaching you to trust and have faith that you can manage to structure and work with what you've got, and there will still be enough at the end of the week or the month. It's teaching you responsibility, discipline and structure with your finances. Now, as for your self-worth, it's saying, hey, Pisces, listen, guys, come on. Where's your self-worth? You're awesome. You've survived 3 years of of Saturn in your sign. You're awesome. It's incredible. You've had Neptune there for forever. And these guys have moved into Aries. All right, they're going to slip back into your sign for a little bit, but, you know, this energy has been life-changing for you, life-forming and life-changing. So I think it's time to end today's Astrobite and say thank you so much, everyone, for joining me, for all your support. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for all your kind comments. I will get back to all of them. Now I've discovered the mic option on the keyboard, but not today. I'm too tired. It'll probably take me a week or so to catch up, but you'll get a very long answer when I do reply. So listen, guys, thank you for everything. Thank you for your support. It's here we are, Saturn in Aries. Let's enjoy it. So on that note, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. And I will be back again very soon with another Astrobite. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.